Lights on, game on, let's run it back. Three voices locked in on the weekly track. Big plays, bold calls, every moment counts. We break it all down, yeah, no timeouts. It's the catch-up rundown. Three hosts, big energy now. Sports talk turned all the way loud. Let's dive in, let's break it down. Break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down.
Okay. All righty, everybody. Welcome back to the Catch-Up Rundown, the only sports show where the talks come in hotter than the wings from Wingstop that we had the other day. Ooh, it's pretty good. Connor throws the Hail Marys, Kaysen talks the trash, and myself, Jackson, just tries to keep the score and the show under control because these two are really weird and crazy. If you would have heard our conversation about 5 seconds ago, what are you saying?
I said high five chest bump to Connor.
Okay, so we will get started with the opening kickoff segment. We renamed it to opening kickoff because the Jimmy Fredette podcasts uses the opening tip-off, so I changed it.
Opening kickoff, I like it.
Because I didn't want to have it be the same. Anyways, so our first headline is the Panthers announced that they are picking up quarterback Bryce Young's fifth-year option, signaling long-term confidence for the number one pick. Do you guys think this is good for the franchise, or what are you guys' thoughts on the Panthers picking up Bryce's fifth-year option?
I think it's good. It shows that they have confidence in their boy, and he's shown it. He's endured that terrible rookie season, and they showed faith in him, like Peyton Manning when he threw whatever 27 interceptions it was his rookie year and then became one of the GOATs. Like, show confidence in your guy, and then he's proved it, so he deserves his money.
Yeah, I was going to agree with Connor on that one. I think he just kind of showed how legit he actually is. I think he's a great quarterback, and I think he can be one of the best in the years to come if he keeps playing the way he did, especially this year. Great quarterback, excited for him.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with both of you guys. Obviously he had a pretty good year, led the team to the playoffs and did what they needed to do to get there. Obviously the next step is to get back and to win and go a little farther. They very well could have won that game too, which is, quite impressive given, they were 8-9 and they played a pretty competitive game against arguably one of the best teams in the NFL. And so, I don't know, I think it's a good thing for the franchise. I think they need it, especially given just how rough of a patch they hit after the 2015 season after Cam's big year. So I think this is a good sign for the Panthers. So I agree with you guys there. Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell tells the team they will add to the depth and competition to the quarterback room heading into the 2026 offseason. What are your guys' reactions to that?
Not surprising at all. When J.J. McCarthy played, he played okay, but not good. Or not great. He played good-ish, not great. Yeah. So it's either going to light a fire under J.J. or they're going to find a better quarterback. So
I agree.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Honestly, not the biggest J.J. McCarthy fan. I think he is a lot of bark and not a lot of bite. He a lot of the
Don't
times
disrespect Nine like that.
A lot of the times he talks the talk, but honestly cannot hang and play with some of those big dogs out there. Mm-hmm. So if he wants to be a big dog, he's gonna have to start training like a big dog. And
yeah,
I just not a big fan. I haven't seen anything great from him, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I honestly think it's what's needed. Obviously, I think Minnesota realized pretty quickly that they made a mistake in choosing to let Sam Darnold walk, given that he went and won 14 games again with a completely different franchise. And so, I don't know. I think it's needed. Because kind of like what you said, Connor, it'll either light that fire under JJ or they're going to find the guy who can be the guy, essentially, who can be that guy for him that they can rely on in games week in and week out. And we'll see if it is JJ McCarthy. We'll see if it's someone completely different. Who knows? But that's kind of my thoughts on that because I think it's pretty needed. Honestly, I kind of agree with you guys there. All right, and then our last headline, the NBA prepares for its first ever regular season game in Germany as the Orlando Magic and Memphis Grizzlies get set to face off in Berlin in 2 days. So on Thursday. What are your guys' thoughts on this, the NBA expanding to more international games? I think they played one a little while ago, but I think this is their first one in Germany. What are your guys' thoughts on them expanding into the more international setting?
I don't really care. I don't really get it though, because I get football. Like no one else plays football but America, really. But like basketball's a pretty worldwide sport, just to
Yeah.
grow the NBA. But like, I don't get it.
I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess in a way, it kind of gives a lot of the players who I think are really great players, maybe not as much as like playing in the big leagues, more of an opportunity, I guess. Kind of get better and work their way up.
Yeah.
I look at
Well,
it
yeah, I
maybe.
would get it. Like if it was an exhibition game, yeah, that makes sense. But like, they're just these are two franchises that are just playing there for fun. I guess it's
Yeah.
just for that, just for the European NBA fans, I guess. So
So I misunderstood it. This is like a kind of like how we play a football game in Brazil. Or
yeah,
okay. I thought we were saying we were expanding and opening up more like of
No,
like the G League and
no,
things overseas.
no. Yeah, you
S- s-
totally misunderstood what was being
Yeah, I
thrown down.
misunderstood that, but I don't know. I
but I
mean,
do get it. Like I understand. Like for your point, exhibition games that would make sense, and they do that
yeah,
sometimes. But regular season, I'm like, whatever.
yeah. I guess I kind of agree with Connor. Then I don't really see a point other than to kind of get the NBA out there a little more, more of a
Make more money for
wider
them.
fan base, more
Mhm.
money kind of deal. But
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of with both. Like I think it's an interesting idea, kind of like with the NFL. I think it does, like what Connor said, make a little more sense for the NFL just because the NFL, like American football is played in America primarily and mostly, while basketball, they have the Euro League, they have the league in China, like they have international
FIBA has got all this stuff.
yeah, they have international leagues and tournaments that these players go play in
Plus the
anyways. So they
Olympics
get to go
too.
yeah, so they get to see them anyways. So I don't know. I'm also sometimes against it just for the mere fact because it gets rid of a home game for one of the
A
teams.
franchise. Yeah.
Yeah, for one of the franchises, and that's kind of my only quip about it with the NFL is that it gets rid of a home game. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's interesting to say the least, but I don't know. We'll see how that turns out, I guess. We'll see if they get anybody to go. But anyways, we're gonna quickly move on to our biggest takeaways from this week. Primarily for this episode, we're obviously going to be mostly focusing on the college football playoff and the NFL playoffs. So what was kind of your biggest takeaways from the CFP semifinal games and from the NFL wildcard games? Kason, I'll let you go first this time.
I guess my biggest take. Indiana is legit. That's probably my biggest take from college football standpoint. I kind of hope that they win it all, which I don't. I mean, Miami's defense moves pretty quick, but I don't see them being able to stop the offense and the offensive scheme and the way the offense under Mendoza moves for Indiana. I think they've done really well. I really like the coach. He's kind of a funny guy. He's kind of funny to watch on the sidelines too.
Yeah.
Doesn't really show a ton of emotion, so I think that's pretty funny.
Except for
But
the
then
emotion of pissed off.
NFL, yeah, it's kind of scary looking at him.
Hmm.
Honestly, I think he's gonna like bomb the place or something. But
Yeah.
um, NFL, I don't really know what to think. Honestly, I think we still have a couple of teams, and these next matchups, I think will kind of define it a little more finer.
Hmm.
But I think we still have too many teams and too many games that can go either way, honestly,
Yeah.
leading up to, of course, the Super Bowl and
Yeah.
everything like that. So,
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Connor, what about you?
College football, I don't know. I think Indiana just kind of proved like we're just tuning in to watch them lift the trophy at the end. Unless Miami's defense can pull off some sort of miracle. Um, Indiana's defense is legit as well. So unless Carson Beck can throw another magical game and stuff, then I don't see them even coming close. But I think it's cool. Yeah, and it has 0 5-stars and murdered Alabama,
Yeah.
murdered Oregon. The Oregon game, those 22 points, it's not 22 points. It was a lot worse than that. But I don't know. I don't see Indiana stopping even after this year. Like all this is saying is if you want to go to a premier program, Indiana's that new premier programs. But for the
Yeah.
NFL, that the playoffs is wide open. Anybody can take it. Well, I don't like. I have no idea. I think it's Josh Allen versus the Broncos defense, not necessarily the Bills versus the Broncos, because Bo Nix will put up like 12 points. So it's just a matter of if the Bills can score. Drake May is going to do Drake May things. Hopefully that Texans defense is legit, but the Texans defense just showed how terrible the Steelers offensive line is. So I don't know. I think the Patriots win that game. The 49ers and the Seahawks, it just depends on what Sam Darnold we get, but I think I know what Brock Purdy will get, so I think the Seahawks will win that, and then I think the Rams offense is a little bit outmatched for the Bears defense, but the Bears can put up a lot of points too. So it's such a toss up every single place.
That's how it's been the whole season in the
Yeah.
NFL. No matter who you're playing, it seems like. I think my biggest takeaway is I think Miami has just proved to everyone that they deserved that playoff spot over Notre
Mm-hmm.
Dame. I think they have continued to prove it by getting to the national championship. Do I think they win? Probably not, but I think they had just a remarkable playoff run, and I think they just have shown everybody, hey, we deserved to be here over Notre Dame. We deserved this. We've shown why we deserve to be here. And, kudos to Miami for showing that to everyone. That's kind of my biggest takeaway in the NFL is I think I'm kind of with you guys. I think it's just so wide open. It's kind of hard to pinpoint who can go farther or who is going to show up in these games because it just seems like a lot of these games are going to go down to the wire and who has the ball last, essentially.
Yeah.
And so, but anyways, we will move on into our preview of the college football playoff championship for a little bit. So as we mentioned, championship is in Miami, Florida, and it's going to be between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Miami Hurricanes. I'm going to be quite honest. Obviously Miami is kind of the surprise team in this matchup. Kind of like TCU was a couple years ago. And I don't know. It's in Miami. The game's in Miami, so Miami's kind of got that going for them. But then again, it's Indiana. So I don't know. What's your guys' kind of thoughts going into the national championship? What are you hoping to see? What are you expecting to see? Kind of like an outcome.
The number one thing I want to see is a better game than the Oregon game. I want to see Miami put up a good fight, but I really do think that Indiana's on this roll and they cannot be stopped. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to end as Indiana is national champions, and I just hope Miami gives them a good fight. I hope it's a good game, and I hope it's not like the game when Indiana played Oregon, because that was just terrible. That was almost as bad as the
least expected
Super Bowl between Cam Newton and
No, you're
the
thinking
Broncos.
of Peyton Manning and the Seahawks, the Legion of Boom in
Yes.
2013.
Yeah, that's
the
the one I was thinking of.
Seahawks
The
and
Seahawks and
Broncos.
Broncos, and when it was like 20-something to 9 or
55-7.
I think it was 29-0 before
Yeah.
Denver scored.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
before Denver even crossed the 50.
I thought they had like a field goal or something in there. Yeah, anyway,
Which
I
is
just
crazy
hope it's
because that's Peyton Manning's 5,055 touchdown year.
Yeah, that was the year where he broke every single season passing record you could think of.
Yeah, but back to college football. It's like coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb really going on right now. The only way that like Miami's going to win is if they actually play good, because they had 10 penalties against Ole Miss in like critical moments and really kind of just got lucky at the end. But like Carson Beck was the only reason they won that game is because of their run game, because Carson Beck was not playing very good.
Well,
Like he would like have an open receiver and just completely miss him.
Yeah, we were watching it Wingstop, and then we got wings and then came here and watched it. And I just remember watching him miss like 3 wide open throws. Like they would have been a guaranteed touchdown, but he just flat out missed the throw. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you've got to make those throws.
Miami has to
Yeah.
play their best game.
Yeah, it's almost like my thoughts on this is I think Miami needs to play a dang near perfect game in order, like they have to have very little mistakes
Mhm.
if they want to even think of competing with Indiana, just because Indiana is just so dominant in the little things and just all these nitpicky things. Because that's Kurt Signetti, he learned under Coach Saban at Alabama, and so you get a lot of those nitpicky things. And Fernando Mendoza is showing why he won the Heisman. He's been playing the best football, I think, of the season these past 2 games that he's played. And I think he's just shown that he's the Heisman and that this Indiana team is going to be tough.
Yeah.
My overall thought is what I think it's going to be. I think it's just going to be another Georgia TCU situation. Like
Yeah.
it's just like a team that like kind of shocked everybody and got there. But then they play this powerhouse school who's demolished everybody, and then they get demolished, and so that's kind of my thoughts on that. Do I want it to be that? No, I don't. You never want it to be that unless you're a fan of the team that wins, but even then, I don't even know if I'd rather have a good game,
Yeah.
especially of this high a caliber of a game. I'd rather it be a good competitive matchup than just a blowout where Miami doesn't even look like they should have been there. But
Don't want
that's
it to look like a BYU Texas Tech game in
definitely
the Big 12 championship.
or the other time they played them this year.
Mm.
We don't talk about that anymore. But okay, we're gonna move into the NFL a little bit and talk about the divisional round. So I actually was looking at the spreads earlier for these matchups. Buffalo, I believe, has a 1.5 point favorite over Denver. The biggest spread, the largest spread was Seattle, San Francisco, actually, which was kind of surprising to me. But at the same time, Seattle's defense did kind of make San Francisco's offense look really bad when they played them a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch that game, and it wasn't even fun to watch San Francisco's offense like it normally is. And Seattle's a 7.5 point favorite, 7.5 point favorite over San Francisco, which was the biggest surprise to me. But at the same time, Seattle's the team to beat in the NFC. So
Plus, you got to look at it as Niners don't have a lot of their guys. I mean, George Kittle went down last game with a torn Achilles,
yeah,
and you don't have
you haven't had Fred
Ricky
Warner all year.
Pearsall.
Yeah.
Fred Warner, a lot of key players on the offense. Brandon Ayuk, no one really knows where he's at. So
Yeah, not even
if he watches this podcast,
He's driving 100 miles an hour by.
Driving 100 miles an hour past the stadium, doing laps.
probably.
But
I'd like to see. I don't know how I feel about that game, honestly. I say may the best team win for that one. I love Brock Purdy, but the Seahawks have kind of earned their spot.
yeah, I think that's kind of my thoughts on that too. Connor, what about you? What are your kind of thoughts going into the divisional weekend?
Yeah. Well, I'd like to
Just-
see both teams lose, but I'd like to see an AFC versus AFC Super Bowl this year, but that's not going to happen. Demarcus Robinson kind of had a breakout game kind of out of nowhere, so I don't think I think he's a stud. I think he can carry that wide receiver room, but I don't see Seattle not handling business, especially because they got like 8-string cornerbacks and safeties and linebackers playing right now on the 49ers end.
Yeah. And they're having linebackers pulled off the couch to come play for them.
Hey, but Eric Kendricks played a freaking nice game.
Yeah.
And Eric Kendricks is not like some bum that they got out of Costco. Like, he's legit. He was on the Vikings for a lot of years, played against the Packers a lot. So I knew Eric Kendricks, and he had another Eric Kendricks game. So
there you go. I don't know. I think I'm kind of with you. I think Seattle wins. We'll see if we're wrong or not. I don't know. But let me see. And then for the Rams Bears, I'm kind of with you, Connor.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the Bears.
I think the Rams offense is just really, really good. The thing is, though, with the Rams is they get off to this hot start, and then it looks like they almost fall apart, but they still somehow pull it out. That's kind of what I gathered from Carolina, but
Yeah, but like this Bears team's also a fourth quarter team, so it's like you
yeah,
can't be
exactly.
doing
So if
that.
like the Rams fall apart, it's gonna be rough for
Yeah.
them because this Bears team has proven that they can really play when it comes down to the wire, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
even with a gay quarterback.
No, he's actually not gay. He's actually got a girlfriend.
Cover up Carl Anthony Towns of the NFL.
That's awesome. That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I don't know. I think, the Bears, they were impressive last week. They sucked the first 3 quarters. And then I know you have your own thoughts on this, Connor,
So
because
that showed the lack of depth of the Packers roster because we were also battered and beat up a lot like the 49ers defense, but also Brandon McManus could literally die and I would be not affected at all. So
I just remember when you were telling me how much you hate that guy after that game.
bro, and he has a history of it too. He did it in in Denver in critical games too. Oh my gosh.
Don't have an aneurysm on us, Connor.
Dude, I hate Brandon McManus.
But yeah, and so I don't know. I think if it comes down to the wire, I just don't know. I think it's almost a coin toss for that game, just because the Bears they've pulled some weird games out all year, and it's not just been like this game and this game. It's been a lot of their games that they've.
Pretty much every game they've played has been that they've won has been a fourth quarter comeback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like even against the Vikings, they had to have a fourth quarter comeback. So it's like,
Yeah, and that shows like their
but
defense is not
I
great,
think
and
the
that's
game I'm
why
looking
I'm
forward to the
saying like
most is Denver,
I don't think
Buffalo. But because I don't know, I think Josh Allen, obviously we've talked about this off camera, but I think this is Josh Allen's big chance to show
this is
that,
his game to prove like, yeah, I'm an MVP, yeah, I'm legit. Like you guys can't keep telling me I'm Philip Rivers 2.0.
yeah, exactly. I think this is his chance to prove that he can, get to the Super Bowl and win. Obviously, it's without the 3 quarterbacks in there that have beaten him, but I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
finally doesn't have to go to Kansas City, so he might be able to
Yeah,
do it.
or Cincinnati or Baltimore.
But
I think the thing here with sorry to cut you off, Connor, but I think the
no,
thing here with Josh Allen is, especially last game, I mean, he put the team on his back there. And kinda,
Literally and figuratively.
yeah, and I don't think the Broncos are gonna put up with that. I think the Broncos have a very well shot and chance at this game. But like you said, I'd love to see Josh Allen come out on top. And if he does win this game, I'd like to see him in the Super Bowl. So I just hope I don't know. I feel like if he's gonna beat Denver, he's gonna need some help from his team as well
Yeah.
on this one.
yeah,
So,
Denver's defense is freaking legit, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think they'll struggle with Josh Allen, but at the same time, that defense is just super good that it's like, we'll see what happens.
yeah.
But
They can rush the passer with 4. They can have a guy sit back, watch Josh, and they can cover. Like they have the best secondary in the league. Like I don't know.
it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. We'll let him play it out on the field because, obviously we thought Texas Tech would put up a more competitive fight in the playoff, but here we are. I know that's college, but I think we just, we can, but it's whatever. But that's kind of my thoughts is I think Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, he's been in this situation multiple times in the playoffs. And I don't know, is it the one where he gets over the hump and we'll see, but who knows? And then on the other side, we got New England and Houston. Houston's got the number 1 defense in the league, and Patriots have Drake May. Drake May. The Patriots impressed me in their wild card game. I'm gonna be honest. They made Los Angeles look awful like that. I know LA's O-line sucks, but at the same time, they just could rush and just get back there all day, every single play. And it was just, he couldn't do anything. And, Patriots took care of business. And that was probably the least interesting game of the whole weekend and the Houston-Pittsburgh game. But
That's what's scary about the Patriots is Mike Vrabel was a product of a Belichick defense. He's a defensive-minded coach, but their offense is this good. And that speaks to Josh McDaniels, how good of a freaking offensive coordinator he is. This is like a young Belichick and Josh McDaniels back again. That's why I'm
It's scary.
nervous about this Patriots team. And I don't think CJ Stroud's girls making them cookies. So I think the Patriots just have no will.
Is Drake May's wife really making them cookies?
Bro, she bakes some shiz. Have you not seen? Did you not
No.
watch all of Bakesmith?
No.
Oh my gosh. What kind of
No.
sportsman are you?
That's his wife. I don't pay attention to their personal lives.
Dude, it's all over every single social media outlet that talks about the New England Patriots.
Well, obviously, I haven't seen it, so it's not come up on my feed yet.
Oh, it will now that I said it.
Probably, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. But
Was she baking like, never mind.
you better keep your mouth shut, dude. Oh my gosh. Golly. Well, we will. So, what is our predictions for the national championship? I know we've kind of mentioned that, but also the divisional round. What is our kind of pick 'em for this? Connor, do you have a pen and pencil that you can write this down?
I've got a keyboard and some fingers.
Can you write it down for us?
Uno momento.
I really
Yours
do
looks
like
nice.
it.
Okay, Jackson. Let me Jackson. Okay,
Are we
what's
gonna-
yours?
Yeah. This is
Obviously, you're picking Indiana, right?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
picking Indiana for the
Okay, so now
national
NFL.
championship.
Bills, Broncos. Who you got?
Bills, Broncos. Give me the Bills. I know it's a hot take, and I know I got Kevin. I just want to give a special thing to Kevin. Kevin, I love you to death. Same with Wes and Briggs. They are my cousins and relatives who are all Denver fans. But it is really hard for me to root against Josh Allen in these big moments because he's can really compete in the playoffs. He's gone toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes every year and has barely lost every year. And Bo Nix isn't Patrick Mahomes. Sean Payton isn't Andy Reid. I just think
That's a hot take, but we'll move past that.
Andy Reid's won more Super Bowls than Sean Payton. So
Yeah, we'll move past that one.
And so I don't know. It's really hard for me to root against the Bills on this one. And so I'm going with the Bills.
Okay, Patriots, Texans.
Patriots. I don't really need to give a long explanation as to why I think they're going to win.
Okay, then don't. Seahawks
Wow.
versus 49ers.
Seahawks Niners. Give me Seattle. Seattle's just playing really good football right now. I think Seattle comes out on this one.
There's Rams.
Give me the Rams. I
I
think the
literally
Rams
typed every one of those things before you said that, by the way.
proves how much you know me. Or I'm just predictable. Who knows? But I think
All right.
I think the Rams. I think they're just a better, well-rounded roster than Chicago's, and I just think that they'll get to a really hot start. And I just don't see Caleb Williams being able to compete very well for the first 3 quarters, and it's going to make that fourth quarter really tough, and we'll see if they can get over the hump. But I'm going to choose LA.
Okay. Jason, what's your picks?
I got Indiana
Okay.
winning the Natty. I'm going to take the Broncos. Sorry, Mom. I'm also going to go with Houston and Seattle and LA.
Houston, wow. Well, Houston's defense is really good, so that will be a good game. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most, other than Denver.
Okay, and then for me, I'm going Indiana. Then I'm going. This one sucks. I want Josh Allen to win, but I think the Broncos defense is going to do it. So
That's what
I'm going Broncos. Then I'm going. What was the next game? Houston versus the Pats. I'm going to Pats. Then I'm going Seattle. Then I'm going LA.
Seattle and LA. So we all agreed pretty unanimously on the NFC side.
Yeah, NFC side and college football, but then we're kind of disagreeing on the AFC.
Yeah, we'll see who's right next week. Okay.
We all have a different combination, so.
Yeah. All right. We're going to, Connor, I know you really wanted to do the trivia, but we're going to have to skip it just because of time. We'll do it next week.
Can I ask one question?
No, we are really low on time. We're already 15 minutes late, so.
Yeah. 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds.
No. You can have 30 seconds to finish up with our new 2-minute drill.
Okay.
So
besides Phillip Rivers, who is the only quarterback in the NFL to have ever been a grandfather while playing?
I know it's not Tom Brady because his kids weren't old enough.
Brett Favre.
I'm just searching that shiz up, Kaysen.
I didn't.
Okay.
Was it Brett Favre?
It was Brett Favre. Good job. Kaysen knows ball. Jackson doesn't know ball.
Well, I figured it. Well, I didn't even get it. I didn't even get an answer. That was a guess. That wasn't even an educated answer. That was a guess.
I just took thinking who was one of the oldest guys to play.
I only knew Tom
And
Brady
so-
wasn't because I'm like,
Yeah.
his kids are younger than me. So
Drew Brees, his kids are
really
all young
They're
too.
all super young. But so there's Connor's 30-second rant, which was in the form of a trivia question. And Kaysen, what is your 30-second rant going into this week with sports for our 2-minute drill?
I hate Jerry Jones. That's all I got.
Fair.
And Philly. Fetch Philly and fetch all you haters who called me out earlier on this podcast. And I was right. Fetch and hate Philly. Oh, yeah.
Sure, you were right the whole time. So we'll give you your gold star.
Give me another one.
No. You made it weird. But okay. Mine is gonna be more about BYU. I'm really loving their transfer portal success right now. I think we've been doing really good and pulling in recruits in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be competitive in the Big 12 for a while, and I'm really excited to see the
Utah's
future.
going to be a bottom feeder.
Yeah, I honestly, with how many people they have leaving and they're not really bringing in enough to really make up for it, I think they won't be as good, Utah. But that's my take on that. But yeah, I think BYU is going to be competitive for a couple of years under Sataki here in the Big 12 with everyone they're able to bring in. And I'm really excited for the future of BYU football. But that is going to wrap up this week's episode of the Catch Up Rundown. Thank you so much for joining us. We're always happy to do this. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and on YouTube. Be sure to give us a 5-star review. And if we don't deserve a 5-star review, give it to us anyway, because we would greatly appreciate it. Any last words from our other hosts?
See you next time.
Steelers shouldn't have fired Mike Tomlin.
They didn't fire him. He stepped down.
They shouldn't have forced him out. They forced him out.
I'm sure. But the only way he's actually going to get a job is if they trade for him. But that'll be a later discussion, I guess. But thanks so much. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for catching up on the rundown.
Lights on, game on, let's run it back. 3 voices locked in on the weekly track. Big plays, bold calls, every moment counts. We break it all down, yeah, no timeouts. It's the catch-up rundown. 3 hosts, big